Media query, okay.
Or have you done anything related to that before?
No, not really.
Okay. So media query is basically is responsible for the responsiveness of our page.
Okay.
Originally, notice initially when they started building web is basically for desktop computers. But looking at what we have today, there are various devices that can be used to access the website. So we have like of our mobile phones, tablets. We also have the desktop. We have laptops of different screen sizes. You get it now?
Yes.
So these different devices have different screen sizes. So which makes it very, very hard, okay, to view a page that has a fixed design. So when your page has a fixed design, okay, so it is very, very difficult for devices like mobile phones to view such page or present the page in a very, very okay manner. Now, because you see some website, when you visit them, they will not adjust your mobile screen. You need to be scrolling left, or right towards. You need to scroll in different directions before you can actually figure out or see exactly what you are looking for. Whereas when you visit some of these websites, okay, immediately they will automatically adjust to your screen size. Okay, so in which you have the ability to just scroll maybe gradually up and down, and you still see exactly what you are seeing on desktop or any other larger screen devices. So you still be able to see all those things. So, and this is where media query comes into play. So now, Bootstrap as a framework implements some of these principles. So it has different screen sizes, okay? And that's why responsiveness is part, okay? And one of the good reasons for using Bootstrap, for example. So how is this responsiveness achieved? How can we achieve it? So this is exactly what we want to talk about today.
Okay.
So basically, so I have an empty page here. I name it media query, then .html.
Okay. Please, you're not sharing your screen yet.
Yes. Okay. Oh, sorry. Let me do that now. Share the screen right. I just shared the screen now. Can you see that now?
Yes, we can.
So I have an empty page with the name of media query. Then what I want to do is going to be pretty basics. I don't want it to be too complicated. I just want us to understand the concept behind using media query. So in here, so I want to set this title to the media. Here, heading one, wow, media query with CSS. Here, I want to create a div. In this div, we have an ID, tests. So inside of this, I want to have some sections, like 4 sections, and each of them will have.
Please, is it possible for us to get the font? I mean, increase the font size. I mean, increase the zoom in power. I mean,
Okay. Let me zoom it up a little bit. Is it clearer now?
Yes, it's better, please.
I think so.
Section times 4, and each section will have heading 3, heading 4 with left plus the paragraph with lower. So this is an image extension. So I basically want to generate 4 sections. Then inside of the sections, I want to have heading 4. That we have sections, and that will give me 4 heading 4 because we are going to have 4 sections. So each of them we have like section 1, section 2, section 3, as well as having a paragraph. So this heading 4 and the paragraph will be inside of each sections. So the paragraph will contain Lauren, while the heading 4 will contain section 1, section 2, section 3. So nothing too complicated. So I'll hit tab, and this should be expanded for me. So you look at it now, we should see 4 different sections. So this is exactly what we have.
Sorry, I barely hear you. Can you like increase your voice a little bit?
Okay. Now I said I just expand the section to create 4 different sections. So, and each of the section we have heading 4 as well as a paragraph. Can you hear me now?
Okay. Yes, better, please.
So I want to go live. I have installed my live server.
Live server.
Yes. So I can just see the go live. So we can have this already in the browser. So now, so this has opened on the page, on the web, on the browser. So I believe you can see that now.
Yes.
So let's go and create our CSS file. So let's create our CSS file. So new. So I want to call this media and dot media dash query dot CSS. I want to be using external CSS today. So, and here my rule will go.
Okay.
So here I want to have general rule. Now, general rule means it occurs at every devices. So it doesn't really matter if it's desktop. So I will also have another comment below. So I want to have for mobile. I will have another one. So that is, there will be a comment on individual codes that I want to have here. So I will have the one for tablets. And finally, I will have the one for desktop. Like this. So now under the general rule here, so I basically want to use my asterisk, that's a white card selector. Then I want to take away all the margins, 0, the padding, I will be 0 too. I want to change the box sizing. So this will technically just remove all extra spaces for my groups. Now, don't link that. So let's link our CSS with the HTML page. So we use link that. Media query.css, save that. And now, when you look at it, so all the extra spacing has been taken away. So now,
Chris, me.
okay,
Why the dot slash?
here, dot slash is actually used in referencing address. So there are two ways we can do this in computer. So whenever we're working on path address, so it's either I remove this completely or I have dot slash. So it will do exactly the same thing.
I still don't understand it.
The dot slash means from where we are looking for the CSS file from this same directory inside of this folder called class. So that is what the dot slash means.
Okay, but if you take it out, will it still be linked?
It's exactly the same thing. If I take this out, I save it, I come back here, it's exactly the same thing. No
Okay.
difference.
Okay.
So we can always use this whenever we are working with URL. So it's either I put it like this or I put it like this. So it means exactly the same thing.
Okay.
Okay, is there any question? Any other question? So now I want to target the HTML, which is the entire page, and I want to set the width. The width to be 100, and this time I don't know.
Really? Okay.
Viewport width. I will write another selector for the body, and this we have the width of this we have a width of 100%. So now I want to target this area. So where we have this div of text, okay? So I want to target the div. So here, I go on the column here, then I want to do found text. So I want to set a border for that particular area. So I set 2 pixels, solid, and red. Then we have some section within that area. So I want to target that as well. So this will be found text. Look for all the sections that are within that area. So I want to set border for each of these as well. So I want it to be 2 pixels. It's going to be dashed. And I want the color to be black. So now these are things we are used to. So you can see it like this. So this is exactly what we are having. So I want to have a general rule. So that's why I'm placing all these under the general. So it doesn't really matter if we are on mobile, we are on tablet, all these rules will still be maintained. That's the idea. So they'll still be maintained unless we override them. So, but if I'm working on desktop, I can get rid of border if I don't want it. So it's possible. But you will see how I'm going to write rules for them shortly. So here, so I want to give a padding of like 15 pixels. And to the parent element here, I want to give a padding of 20 pixels. So what this will do is make sure these are not too close to the edge. Okay. But at desktop size, I want the body to use just 80%. Now, you notice generally we say the body should use 100. We can see 100 here. Okay. But at the desktop size, so I can come here. So how can I write a rule for desktop? So to write that, this is where we need to apply the media query. So whenever we're writing a media query, the media query rule will look like this. At media, then you want to specify string. Then we have and, then open parentheses here. So inside of this place, you now specify minimum mean dash width at minimum width of, so colon, then you want to specify the size that you are looking for. So in this case now, at minimum of 1,000, so anything from 1,000 above, so I want to consider that desktop. So from 1,000 pixel upward. So here I will open my curly brace. So here now I want to target the body. Now, basically what I'm doing here is just rewriting the rule that we already have before. I already have a rule, okay, for body, but now I'm rewriting it with, and I want to set the width to be 80%. Now, if I save this, come back to the page, so you see exactly what happened. You can see the body is not touching, like this whole area is not touching the edge of the browser anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, but if I minimize it and I come to a smaller size, and see it should be using everywhere. You can see it now. So this is somewhere around the break point here. Here, where is breaking now? This is exactly where we hit the 1,000. So at exactly this 1,000, you can see the body adjusts to one side. Was that clear?
No, not really. Like your screen is not responsive.
The screen is not responsive.
Yeah, what you just explained now, I didn't see the effect.
Okay. Now, you can see that I'm resizing the screen now, right?
Yes.
You notice it gets to a point. Then this whole body, okay, we have our content filling up the whole area.
Yeah.
Now, if I go beyond this size, you notice the red border come backward. Then we have empty space towards the end. So this is as a result of the rule that we are specifying here, the 80% that you see here.
Okay.
So again now, so in here, so I want to centralize both the body, so HTML as well as the body. So I want them to be at the center of the page. So I can use margin. And here I want to use 0 and the auto. So if I save this, come back here, so you can see now that this, instead of being at one side, it has been shifted to the center. So, and again, I want to have a little bit of spacing. So I'll use padding top on the body, so of 30 pixels, so that the contents at this top, at this size, is not too close. You can see we have this empty space at the top. But if I go down below 1,000, you notice we don't have all those extra spaces. You get the idea now?
Yes.
Okay. So this is what we refer to as media query, because this rule here, okay, everything you have here, we start working when you have a minimum of 1,000. So it means anything from 1,000 above, the browser will start implementing any rule that you have here. But anything below 1,000 is implementing the general rule. Do you get the idea now?
Yes.
So this is what we mean by media query. Now, you notice that I can as well set a background color on the body at this point, background color of tan. So if I save it, come back here. So you notice the background color is not applying now because we've not hit that size. If I go upwards and I hit that size, you can see the background color. If I go downwards, the background color will disappear. If I go upward, the background color is applied.
Sorry, it's not taking effect. So
It's taking effect here.
okay, it's now showing.
Can you see the background now?
Yes.
So if I go down, notice we lose the background because our size at this point is not up to 1,000. But immediately we reach 1,000 upward. That is from 1,000 to any other size, we will automatically have a background.
Okay.
So to even make it more fun now, so I want to target, so we have the test. I will change the display of the test. So change the display here. I want to change it to flex. Then if I save that, come back here, so you can see that we have these 4 columns. You can see the 4 columns now. Then if I come down, so to smaller size, we still have 4 columns. So this is not really good when we are on mobile size, having 4 columns. You notice they are very, very tall. So I would prefer to have all these elements sit right on top of one another. So, and I will change that in my mobile rule. So under the mobile rule, I want to have a media query. So here I will specify another rule at media screen and then open parentheses. This time around now we use max. So at max width, so that is at maximum of, let's say, 650 pixels. Then here, I want to implement this rule. So here now, I want the body. So let me take this. I want to take a rule here. So this rule, I want it to be in general rule. So I'll take it out of this place. Then because anytime I see myself doing the same thing over and over. So I would prefer that to be in the general rule instead of me doing it. Okay, since it's exactly the same thing that I want to achieve. So I want the body at this point. So to have a width of, so the body will have a width of 95%. So if I save that, so if you look at it now, you see the body is having 95, but because the environment is too small now, okay, you notice it gets to a point now, we have scroll bar. Now I don't want to have scroll bar because of this context. So what I will do is I will target the text. That's the parent element text. Then remember we already changed, if I scroll up now, okay? So you notice the text already have a display of flex. Are you with me?
Yes.
So we already have a display of flex. So inside of this place, all I want to do now is I just want to change the direction. So I will specify flex, then direction, flex dash direction. Then instead of row, because that is what we have by default, row. So I will change this to follow. I will save that, come back here. And you can see now that a smaller size now, we don't have a problem. Because instead of having our content side by side, you see them sitting right on top of one another. But if I go beyond 600 pixels, you see them immediately, they go side by side. And you can see them here. See the breakpoints?
Yes.
So at a point here, they go immediately side by side. Then if I go up, so they maintain that 4 column to this bigger size. Now, for the tablet, I don't want to have 4 column as well. Instead, I want to have 2 column. So here, I will need to specify another media query. So at media, and this time around, I still want to go with screen. Open parentheses, I need and then open parentheses, I will specify max dash width. Now this time around, this will have a size that is 1 lesser than this one. In this case, it's going to be 999 pixels. Notice that is 1 less than 1,000. Then I will add another ant here. And I want to do main width dash width. And this will have 1 greater than this. So it's going to be 651 pixels. Okay, 651 pixels. Then here, I will open a curly brace. So what exactly do we want to do? So at this point, so I want to target each of the section, Control C. So I will target each of the section, and I want their size. So I want their size to, so I will go with width, and I want the width to be cat. So it will be calculated automatically. So that would be 100% divided by 2. Okay. So this will do, so CSS will do the calculation for me automatically. So if I save it, come back here. So you don't see the effect because the flex will not allow it to show. So what I need to do now is to select the parent test, and I need to add another rule. So what is this rule? I will add flex dash wrap, and I want it to wrap. So if I save this, come back here, so you can see we have 2 columns. So if I come down, it gets to a point, everything sits right on top of one another. If I go upward, see, it's giving me 2 columns. The 2 columns, it goes to a point where it forms 4 columns again. So this is a breakpoint from 4 columns all the way to the biggest stem. So you can see how responsive the page is.
Yes.
So do you understand this whole concept?
No.
I'm able to give rules for different screen sizes. So, and that is why I drop this comment. At the top here, I have general rule. I want to have every time. What I want to have every time. Then I also have another area which is for the mobile. So I specify that by having at media screen and max width. I specify the maximum. So that is anything below 650. Okay, that is from 650. That's why I'm using max width. So from 650 pixels downwards, I assume that is a mobile devices. That the screens of a mobile should not be more than 650 pixels. Is that clear? Hello?
I think if you recorded, I will we'll go through it now since we can have everything.
What me I'm interested in is for you to understand the concepts even before you get access to the video. I want you to understand the concept that you can have a page that is responsive. A page that is responsive in such a way that we can have, so the idea is that if I am to use a mobile phone, okay, to view this page, it will show me a single column in which you see each of these elements will be sitting right on top of one another. Now, we are not limited to just this kind of settings, okay? Now, I can test to give different sizes to my text. I can reduce the size of the text at this particular size. Then, at a bigger size, like mobile or like a desktop or tablet, I can tend to increase the screen size. Just like what you see now. Notice our tablets, I don't have extra spacing at the edge because we are using 100% of the environment. But on mobile, we use just 90. And you notice we have a little bit of spacing at the left and at the right. then we don't have any extra spacing at the top. But if you work with the desktop page, we have this extra spacing at the top, and we have some space to the left, some space to the right. You get this idea at all?
Yes, I understand it.
So now you notice on this particular, at this bigger size now, the desktop size, I don't have a gap, but I can say, okay, oh, when I'm on a desk, when I'm on a mobile, on a tablet, I want to have a gap between my elements. I want to have gap between them. So what can I do? So in that case, I will specify gap here. So gap, and I want the gap to be like 20 pixels. So now, if I save this, come back here, I will have problem at this size because the space, the reason why we have problem now, if you look at it, you see all the elements now, they now sit right on top of one another instead of having two columns, okay, and two rows. They sit right on top of one another, just like on mobile, and we see a lot of empty space in here. This is basically because I'm dividing 100% by 2. So the problem now is that the space we have not up to 100%. So before we do our division, we need to do something. So what is that thing? We want to take 100, then we will, this 100%, we will remove 20 pixels from it, then we divide the rest of the space by 2. So this to solve it for us. That 20 pixels I set as a gap. You understand it? The 20 pixels I set as a gap, I need to deduct it from the 100%. Then the results divided by 2. So it means it will give them half. So, and the result will produce this that you see here. So if I come down, so you notice we see that gap. Then when we get to mobile, there's no gap. When we get to desktop, there's no gap. You can see that now later. So that simply means at different sizes, then we can choose to attend. We can choose to design our layout the way we want. So we have full control over the layout. That is just the key thing there. So here, so at this mobile, at this tablet size, I can see reorder my page. So reorder in what sense? I can take the first box, section, then I want to use the end child. I'm looking for the first one. I want to give a background color, background. And in this particular case, I want to use a background color of orange. Orange. If I save that, come back here, so you can see the first one is now having this orange color. So I want to change the order, so I will give it order. And I want the order to be 1. Now, since I'm working with Flexbox, I can use order. I notice now, the first section now has been brought down to occupy the position of section 4. And section 4 has been shifted back to section 3. So now, this order will not be maintained on mobile. So you notice on mobile, go back to where it is originally, and the background is not there. And the same thing will happen when I get to large screen, it go back to its position, the background is not there. But on tablet, the background will be there, and we change the position. So do you understand the concept at all? So I'm just using this as a simple example, so you understand what we mean by media query.
This is a little bit confusing now.
Okay, which part, Mark?
Where you were doing some calculations,
Okay.
I think the mobile phone or the mobile site.
Yeah, the calculation, I did calculation when we are working on this tablet size, the tablet rule.
Okay.
Okay, because that is where I need a gap. So when I'm working on mobile, I don't need a gap. When I'm working on desktop, I don't use gap. But because I use gap at the tablet screen, okay, so I have a gap of 20 pixels. Then I know that the total available space for all the child elements is 100%. You understand? So when you work with Flex will automatically assume that you have 100% available space. Then what will Flex do? Flex will count the numbers of child that we have and divide it by that number of child. So and if you use that to get the size for each of the child elements, this is exactly what you have when you work with the large size. Notice we are not the one that partition it to say, okay, we need 25%. This calculation is done automatically. You get the idea now?
Yes.
So at this large size, so the browser do the calculation automatically because it's doing the calculation based on the numbers of sections that we have. There are 4 of them. So divide that 100% by 4. Then it means each of them will take 25%. But at this tablet size, I want to control it myself. So instead of giving them 25%, I don't want that. I want the browser to give them 50%. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So it's a thing I can come here and just specify 50%. But since I want to have a gap, I cannot just say 50%. Because if I say 50%, okay, it will just be 50%, 50%. And where will the gap come from? So automatically, the parent element will have problem. And I will say all of my elements sitting right on top of one another. So the first thing I need to do here is to preserve the space for the gap. And that is why I pass. So instead of me passing the value directly to CSS, I am giving every value to CSS. Then do the calculation yourself. So I leave the calculation for CSS, but I explain what it should do. I explain exactly what calculation does. What calculation do I want to perform here? I'm giving everything to the CSS. So now, if you see what I'm doing here, you notice I use 2 brackets at the initial stage. Why? Because whenever you're working with CSS or you work with the JavaScript, if you're working with computer logic generally, they will basically obey Bodmer's principle. Do you understand it now?
Yes.
So Bodmer's principle states that anything inside of bracket should be solved first. Okay, because if I don't have brackets here, okay, that division that you see has more power than the minus. So it means if you first take the 20% and 20 pixels, it will divide it by 2. Then now subtract the whole thing from 100%. That is not what we want to do. So that is why we are using these brackets to simplify what we need to do. So first, out of the 100% available space, take 20%, take 20 pixels out, okay, for the gap. That will be reserved 20 pixels for gap. Then the rest of the space now divided by 2. So when browser does this, then it is divide the rest of the space into 2, and the result will be each of these elements will be half. They will take half of the available space. Remember, the total available space is considered 100%. So simply I remove the space for the gap.
Who's that?
I divide the rest of the
Give
space
me.
by 2. Okay.
Yes, sir.
What I will be left with is just half. That is exactly what you do.
Sir?
This calculation
Okay.
does automatically.
Okay.
This calculation is done for us.
24,000.
So
Okay.
this is how this can work, how the media query works. Now, so one thing you should note here is that you don't have a scroll bar. Even at the small size, you don't have you don't have any scroll bar that will take you left and right, because all the content are visible on the page. All the content, regardless of what devices you are using. Is it a mobile phone? Is it a tablet? So regardless of what device you are using, it will always be visible.
Okay, that's understood.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Okeze. I think we also have we also have Mr. Emmanuel.
He has gone off. Just
okay. He has gone offline.
Yes, for some time now he has been off.
Yeah. So this is what we mean by media query. So the idea is, though, when you work with this CSS, is sometimes you have you need to duplicate your code many times, but it will make the end result, okay? It will make the end result very, very responsive. So that is the whole concept of working with media query. So I can define different things. So I can say at this mobile size, I want to reduce the size of my heading 1, for example. So notice we have this heading 1 content, which is this media query. I can say, okay, I want to reduce the size. Well, only when we are on mobile. So I can say font, that size, and I want to reduce the size to stuff like font size 18 pixels. In fact, I can decide to give a color to that font size. Okay, red. So this rule will only work if you are accessing the page with a mobile. You can see that if you look at the header now, if you look at the heading 1 now, that is not changing color, the size is not reducing. But immediately I go to the mobile version, you will see that the size change and we have color. So if I increase this, we hit the tablet size, then notice the size go back to its original size and the color go back to black. So this simply means that at different screen sizes, we can choose what we want. So I can push this away from the top, margin, top, 20 pixels. Notice we have this margin on the top. So I can say here on this parent element, I don't want a border. So here, as specify border will be none. Save that, come here. So the parent element has no border. I can as well target all the sections that are within it. Section. Border as well. I want to go with border, and this time around I say border dash style. I want to change the style to be solid. I want to change the color, border dash color to lights and gray. So if I save that, come here, so you can see that the order has been changed to solid, that is changed to light gray. Or if I increase the size, then notice go back to dotted here. So go but on smaller sizes. So also we can change the size of the border dash width. I want it to be 1 pixel. Okay. So I can see how light that at this small size now, we have a light border. And when we increase this, the border changes to solid. It changes to dotted. And the size goes back to 2. So the parent at this small size has no border. You can see that. But when we hit the tablet, you see the border. So and this mobile size as well, so I can use the text outline. I want this to be at the center of the page. So I'm mobile, it will be on center, but when I hit the tablet, it go back to the left align. If I'm working on this, it go back to left align. But if I'm working on mobile, it is centered. So, any questions? This effect?
Yeah, the colors, all these color interchanging color, changing all these things. Where you do all this, where the one can really, I was really off this thing, but I just came on board. I've been on.
Yes, that is the whole idea of media query, sir. So the media query, say if you allow us to have different rules, you understand? But CSS will not be reading, the browser will not be reading all these rules at the same time. You understand it now? So
Yeah.
it will be reading the rules specifically based on size. What size do we have? So the browser will look at the size. So once it gets the size, it will read the rule based on the size. That is the idea of media query. So if we look at this thing now, okay, sir.
But you say you want to do external. Is it not internal CSS you're doing now?
No, this is external.
Okay.
So I have a separate file. This is a separate file, mediaquery.css.
Okay.
So, and this is our HTML. So it's completely separate.
Okay.
We don't have any CSS here. So we have it separately here.
Okay. Okay, I've seen it.
So if you scroll down now, so you notice I have this at media, and I can collapse this area. So I can collapse this area, and I can collapse this area. So there are 3 segments here. We have the one for mobile. So that it has a breaking point of 650 downward. Anything from 650 downward is considered mobile devices. Then we have the tablet, which has a size between 651 to 999. So it means it has a size that is above anything from 651. So if we look at it, is one greater than mobile. So then it has a maximum size, so it cannot go beyond 999. And that size that it cannot go beyond is where the desktop size begins. Notice I have mean width of 1000. So that 1000 is one above this 999.
Okay.
So, and that is why you are able to see different display on the page. Because this display that you see here now, the current display that you can see now is controlled by this area here, this part. Okay, so if I go beyond this size, if I increase it, then I hit another breakpoint. This time around now, it's controlled by this tablet. So if I go above this tablet size, immediately I go above 1000, that is from 1000 upward, I will automatically hit the desktop rule. Then you see the display also change again.
Yeah.
So this is why you see different display on the page. Why? Because we are making use of media.
Ready.
So the idea is that whenever we are designing our page, okay, so we can always adjust our content to fit in for any devices.
Okay.
When you work with Bootstrap, okay, Bootstrap already have all this inbuilt into them. Okay. So we will not be writing the media query ourselves, but inside of our code, we will implement it, and there's a way we will implement it. So when we get there, we talk about them. There's a way we will implement them, and we start talking on them in Bootstrap. But here now, since we are working with our own raw CSS, we need to define how the browser should handle manually ourselves. So, and that is why we have this media query. So, any other question? This is Rani Roy.
Yeah, no question from me.
Okay. So is the concept clear now?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Okizi.
I would say that I need to ruminate over it again and again. So once I get this thing, at least all this compilation of all the things we've done so far, we're able to a lot of wonderful stuff. So just that we can't have it here with us now. That's why I'm having the issue. I'm okay. It's okay. At least it makes a lot of sense.
So if this part is clear, so let's look at. So have you worked with backgrounds in CSS? Then
Background.
Yes.
Background.
Backgrounds. Yes. Now notice there are different things we can use as background. We can use solid color like this. We can use gradient color.
Okay, no, not
No,
that.
We can use pictures. So okay. So if you've not done that, so there's another thing again also. When you work with all these box in HTML, in CSS like this, can we turn any of this angle to a curve? Any of this line can they be turned to a curve?
Like curved lines.
Yes, curved line. You know they are always straight
Yes.
lines. So can we really turn them to a curve?
It's possible.
You're from hello. Your background noise is not really the generator. Is it generator that's making noise? Like
Please help me with the door. Yes, generator. We are using generator. There's no light this night. So sorry. Please, I'm at the middle of class. No happen. Eh? Hello?
What's going on?
Sorry,
Okay.
I have issue. Yeah, I have issue with network.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah. So, like I'm saying, like what I'm saying earlier. So when I have a box, notice the line are always straight. So what happens? How can we achieve a curve in our box? Now you see things like stuff like our charts. See this chart. Notice they will always give you some kind of arrow that indicate that you have a message. There is a pointing, like a pointing line for box. I don't know, maybe you understand why.
Yes.
So how can we achieve that kind of design with CSS? So let me quickly show you something about box that we really need to understand in CSS. So right from my page, I want to have a section. Okay, let me use main tag here. So this main tag, so I can basically just target the main. In fact, I want that to be in my general rule. So I'm not using media query for that. So I just want to have it generally. So it's going to be here. So I'll target main. Then what do you want to do? So I want to give it a border. So I'll set the border to be 8 pixel, solid, and red. So if I save it, then check the browser. So we see it. Let me save the page again. Save. Yeah. Save. So let me remove this background color at this desktop size. So I'll be able to see whatever we have. Now you can see the main here. Now the main is showing, and you see the border here. This is basically because it's a block level element, so it automatically show, and it will take every area. So what I want to do now is I don't want it in every area, so I will define a width for it as well as a height. So I want to set the width. I will set the width to be 100 pixels. And I also want to set the height to be 100 pixels. So if I save that, then I want to set a margin, making sure it's not touching anything. So I'll set a margin of like 50 pixels for it. So in all the sides, so you can see the box here. Hello, can you see the box?
Yes, you can see
So
it.
this
Yes,
is
you can see the box.
now. Now, is it possible? I turn off all this border? Okay,
I cannot hear you. It's not clear. I cannot hear you clearly.
it's the network. Hello, can you hear me now?
It's better now. It's better.
Okay, okay. Now, here I have a border of 8 pixels and the width. So what I want to achieve here basically is I want to change this width to 0. Okay, I want to change this height also to 0. So if I save this, come back here. So you notice we still have a box. You can see the box now. We don't have any width. We don't have any height. Okay. So it simply means that what we are able to see now is just the border. As a matter of fact, let me increase the size of the border. So let me make it like 50 pixels. So I increase the size of the border, and you can see the size of the border now. So if you look at this box now, you notice the box look like a square. But technically, is this really a square? If I ask you people, if I ask you this question, is this a square?
Yes, it's a square.
It's a square. Okay.
It looks like a square. It's a square, yes. It's a square.
It looks like a square, but it's not really a square. Now, the reason why it looks like a square to us is because we have exactly the same color. Let me break it down so you understand exactly what is going on there. So I'll turn off this border, then I will define the border individually. So border dash top, then I want that to be 50 pixels, solid, and red. Now, if I declare only this one, if I save it, if I come here and I reload, you notice I don't see the border. So can you tell me why the border is not showing now? The reason is I cannot, because we don't have a width and we don't have a height, I cannot define a border in one side. Do you understand it?
Yeah.
If I define my border in one side when there's no width and when there's no height, it's not going to show me anything. Now, I need to define this. I need to define this 4 more times. I'll duplicate the code. Then I want to change this one. So this one will be left. This will be bottom. And this will be right. Okay, so if I save this, come back here, so you see the border again, and you can see it now. This is basically because I just define all the sides. Now, instead of using red every time, we can change the color. So here, I want to use blue. Here, I want to use, sorry, so here, I want to use purple. Purple, and here, I want to use, let's say green. So if I save this, what do you think will happen? Come back to your page and see exactly what you have. So do you now understand what's going on here?
It's not clear to me. I don't know.
It's not clear. Now,
yes, sir.
We have a box, okay? But this box, okay, is generated by just the border. What we have here is just the border. Then it has a meeting point of 0. What is the meeting point? The width is set to 0, the height is set to 0. Then we have 50-50 pixel border. But they are not really a straight line as we see. Instead, they will meet at a 0 point. You notice this red one is the border for the top. This one is the border for the left. This is the border for the right. And this one is the border for the bottom. Then everything is meeting at a single point. This is meeting point. The center point where they meet is 0. And that is the point of your width and height. Because the box has no width, it has no height. So their meeting point will always give us what? It will give us a curve. So they cannot come in as a straight line. Instead, they will come in as a curved line. Is it clear now? Is it clear?
It's clear a little low.
A little. Okay. So now, If I actually need a curve from this box, then I can turn off some of this area. So instead of specifying blue, I will make it transparent. One thing is, I must define the color. I must define the color, but once I must define the border, but instead of setting it to a color, to a specific color, I would rather set it to transparent. So transparent simply means we still have the border is still there. The only thing is that it has no value, it has no color value. We make it transparent. So if I save it, I will see just the arrow, and you can see the arrow here. Why? Because technically the browser has known that we still have all this browser in place, we still have all this border in place. Okay, but currently now we make their color what? Transparent. So it is the one that we display now that we see. And currently now, what am I displaying? I'm displaying the one for the top. This is the border top. So this is how we can actually achieve a curve from a bus. And I will be showing you how we can treat this in design later. How we can actually transform this into a design.
Okay.
So like you see two tips on websites. So this is how they are being achieved. So I can rotate them so anywhere I want. So if I want to rotate, I can rotate the way I want. So here I can come here and I can do transform, and I just go with a rotate function, and I can say rotate this by 45 degrees. So if I save this, and you see this is rotating this element for me. I notice it's rotate 45 degrees. If I want it to rotate 35 degrees, come here, rotate 35 degrees. So we can rotate it the way we want. Rotate 15 degrees. So you can see. So I can rotate it to anywhere I want. So, and at the end of the day, we will have a curve out of our shape. So we have a curve out of our shape. There's another one too that we can use in achieving. There's another thing we can use in achieving different shape too, and that is using this function called clip path. There's clip path, but currently now I cannot use clip path. Clip path must be used when I have something. So let me have one image here. Let me quickly look for an image. So I want to bring the image up. What image is this? Okay. So let me bring this up. Okay, here. So I just copy one image, this SS that you see here. So I want to use the image here in my HTML. So here I'll create img dot slash and SS my image. Then I want to give an ID of img. So save that. So in here, so we should see the image has been fully loaded. So in here now, so I want to target the image using the ID found img. So here I can use the clip path. The clip path, we have different things we can use. So I can specify the circle, and I can say give me 50%. If I save this, come here, then you see the image is giving me 50%. But if you look at the image 50% now, you notice it's not really a perfect circle. So this is not giving me a perfect circle. So this is the image. Okay? So, and that is because I never specify where I want this to be. So 50%, so give me like 30%. So it will be more smaller, and this time around, so you should see a circle. Can you see the circle now?
Yes, I can see it.
Basically, I'm using just this CSS principle, clip path. Clip path, we have circle, we have a polygon. So we have polygon, but with polygon now, we need to specify the point that we want to see. So we have polygon, we have eclipse. So let me just go to my browser, then I want to check for polygon generator. So clip path generator. So here, clip. Let me check clipping. Okay. So this clipping, we can actually generate a clip path from this clipping. That's the idea. So we can generate clip path from clipping here. So we can pick anything of our choice. Yeah. Constant. Where is it? Trapeze. Okay. Okay. So any shape I want now. Are you there? Hello?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
So whatever shape that we want now, we can just select it from here. So you notice giving us the shape. It's using this image to show us example of what we want. So if I want trapezium or parallelogram, rhombus, so I can just pick any of these. So let's say I pick triangle, for example. So this is the clip path to a triangle. So I can copy this whole code here, Ctrl C, then I'll go to my code editor. So if I replace everything here, so if I save this by going back to my page, so here is my media, then you notice it's going to give me that triangle. You can see the triangle here. So if I come back to Clippy here again, then I can as well change it manually the way I want. So I can say, give me stuff like this. Like this. Okay. So it will generate the code for me. I can copy the code that is being generated, go to my code editor, and I'll paste code here like this. I save that, come back here again. So here, you see that exactly what I'm getting. Minimize. So you can see that here. So you can use clip path, generate any path that you want. So the idea is, what we use clip path for is to generate any shape of our choice that we need. So, and that is why Clippy here is an online tool, but it basically gives you idea of what can be generated, what you can generate. So we have the Eclipse. So I can copy the codes here. So I come here. So paste it here. Then this will generate this for me. So, but probably in the next class, I'll be showing you how we can add this to a design. Okay, like when I mouse on top of something, so I want to say a arrow that will point to another thing that will pop up. Do you understand it now? So I can show you the arrow. I'll be able to show you the arrow. So in the next class, I'll be showing you stuff like that. So when I mouse on top of something, okay, so something should pop up, then we will have an arrow that is indicating that direction where the thing is popping in from, where it's popping out from. So that is why I'm showing you this today. And also, I will be showing you backgrounds too. So is there any question on what we've done so far? So any area that is not clear that I can actually go over again?
I think just the video will help us.
Yes. I will try my possible best at least to make sure that by Friday we should have, if not all, at least we have some video to work with.
Yeah, you said they've done
Yes,
one.
yes, exactly. So one is ready already.
Please, they should send it to us so that we can start doing something.
Okay. So Mr. Okeze,
I can hear you. I can hear you.
sir, say any part, like is there any part that is not too clear that we can go over before we round up today?
No, what we're saying is the video will help us. The replay video will help us go through all these things. Because you know that as you're doing it, we're just watching, we cannot even practice anything. Because the screen is also narrow for us. It's not that for me,
Yes.
I'm using my phone. There's so once I get this, I can now use bigger screen. I can use my laptop to do it, but now I'm using my phone. I know practices, then we can also go through it, concur with the
practices of these things are very, very important.
That's why we need the video.
Yes, because when it comes to computer, it's all about practical.
We have not been practicing now. We have not been practicing at all.
It's all about practical. So the practical are very, very important.
Because even if you teach us this thing from now to tomorrow, without going through back
without practicing it,
we can't do anything.
Yeah, they cannot get it. You can't get it without practicing it. You are not wrong. You are very, very right on that. Sir.
You have treated pseudo, you have treated media query, you have treated the flex, you have flex. These are the topics you have discussed. They are very important topics that are very significant in our effort to get this thing done.
Make sure everything is ready.
All right, sir.
Thank you so much for your time. This is Rani Roy. Thank you so much. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
I
can't hear you. Your line is not clear. I can't hear you what you're saying, sir.
Yes, I'm talking to Mrs. Rani Roy. I say she has been very, very, very active. She never misses any of the class. So thank you so much.
Well,
yes, I'm also comment that she's been trying it. She's been trying her best.
Exactly. So, and
in fact, I pray for such anointing.
Yeah, exactly. You try about that.
My own. Whenever you see that kind of thing happen, that means it's sleep.
Yes.
You know, my program, my time. I used to sleep around 7. When I come home, once I finish 6, 7, I don't go to bed. Waking up around 11 or 12. So I'm trying to readjust this since I started this program. I've been trying to readjust. Yeah. So whenever you see me offline, that means sleep has make gotten hold of me, bit hold of me. Then I wake up again. That's really happened. But Raniro has been so phenomenal, exceptionally consistent with her activity. I commend her, and she's trying.
Everyone that has been part of the class, you are very commendable. Thank you so much.
But we must help us so those the ministry, okay, so that the ministry can move forward.
Yes. I will.
Video is important to us.
Very. I will. Thank
But I
you.
think we have now like how many videos now? Like 6 or 7. Is it 7? Please, Raniro, how many videos do we are lagging behind? Videos, how many do you think we need?
So from me now, I think 4 videos.
Plus 2 outstanding.
Yeah,
That's
2 days
6.
last time and 2 now. So 4.
Well,
So it's like very, very
combine
big.
them now. It doesn't matter.
You know what did she say?
They can join them together now, or must it be like single?
What me I'm suggesting is if we can have them single, it will be much more easier. Okay.
Do you know what?
Yes,
they can just give us the raw one they have.
So
Then they cannot do once they give us the one they have not edited. They cannot go ahead to the other one. When the other one is ready, you cannot whatever we can see how it is. Just give us all this. It's not something we did in the class.
Because if they don't edit, the file will be very large.
Yes. That is one of it.
But they are using zip. They can use zip. They can zip it. They can use zip to do this thing now. We can use it to pack it. Then we can now unpack it from the zip.
No, I don't know. What medium are they using to forward the video to you?
There are many ways. This is the only one to try because I do watch other people.
It's through WhatsApp, right?
Sometimes
I do watch other people do programs. 3 hours. Right.
So, because if it's because of the video length or size, probably you can create a Telegram channel. So Telegram
can take 4 hours or more than that. Many hours.
Telegram can actually work with larger files.
Larger file, yes.
Notwithstanding, we look at a better way to deliver the video. Thank you. So thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. All right, sir.
Yes, sir.